Hey, what's up YouTube? Scotty Tradition back with another video. It has been about 3 or 4 weeks, I think, since I made my last video. Had a lot going on in my personal family life over that time, and about 3 weeks ago, actually, my stepdad passed away. Lost him to after a 4-year battle with prostate cancer. And to start the video, I think I just want to take a couple minutes just to kind of talk about him and that whole process. And then we'll get into some stuff that's come in over the last month or so, in the pickups wise. So yeah, so my stepdad Ray was just a great guy. He came into my life I think when I was about 11 years old. My parents had gotten a divorce when I was 4, so pretty early on in my life. And when I was about 11, Ray had kind of come into our lives, and he'd been in my life for 29 years. So I'm basically thought of the man as my father at this point. And he certainly was all of that and more. There's just so many great stories about him. But the number one thing is I would describe him as he was an accountable individual. And he was always available. He was always there. Even when he wasn't at his best, he always put forth the effort for everyone in the family. There's just a kind of an interesting story. So when I think I was about 15 or 16, and we were deer hunting, me, my stepdad Ray, my stepbrother Josh, and we were deer hunting, and Ray had actually fallen out of his tree stand, getting out because I think my stepbrother had shot a deer, and we were gonna go help get the deer, basically. And on the way to my stepbrother's stand, I walked by Ray, and I noticed that he was kind of disoriented because he had fallen down out of his tree stand. And I was like, what? I was checking to see if he was okay, and he's like, I think I'm all right, but he's like, something just doesn't quite feel right. So we ended up calling an ambulance. Well, it turns out things were not okay. He had a broken neck at the time. So this was probably in the early 2000s, I want to say, late 90s, early 2000s. And yeah, he had a broken neck. He went to the hospital. He had to wear a halo for a couple months in order for his neck to heal. Um, and so if you've ever seen somebody with a halo, basically they screw these screws right into your skull, and so you can't move your head around, right? So it gives your neck a chance to heal. So the man had 2 screws drilled right through his skull, and then the braces kind of go on your shoulder, so it keeps everything stable. He went back to work two 2 weeks later with a halo on, and he doesn't work some type of white collar job. The man was a meat cutter for 40 years. So he's working in cold weather. Um, you know, I'm sure he was in just ungodly amounts of pain, and he went back to work. So if there's any story that can describe who he is and who he was and what he believed in, that's the story. He was way towards that end of the spectrum of there are no excuses. Like, you may not be feeling well, something may not be going right for you that day, but you're still accountable to those around you, to your friends, your family. It doesn't matter the situation. There's no excuses. Like, you're accountable for your own actions, and that was him in a nutshell. So I always love telling that story, just because you picture this man back to work 2 weeks later after breaking his neck, um, and has screws basically through his skull, and he's just working like, it's like no big deal. Man, he was like that in so many ways. He was always there, always available to help, always accountable to me, treated all of us, me and my step siblings, fairly. And yeah, he's definitely going to be missed in our family. He was definitely a foundation piece in our family, and we'll miss him. Um, we think he's definitely in a better place than where he was over the last couple of years. It was definitely difficult, and it's hard to go through seeing a family member kind of go downhill for 3 or 4 years. The type of cancer that he had, 95% of the people that get this type of cancer, it was a very aggressive form of prostate cancer. Most people, will go 6 months to a year. He went 4 years. It's just he's so stubborn. He just kept going on because he felt like he still had things to do. Felt like he still needed to be accountable to his family. So it's just a he's just an amazing guy, and certainly a lot of those attributes run strongly through myself and my sister and my step siblings as well. So he's gone, but not forgotten. And now we're kind of moving forward in a new phase in our life here. But I just kind of wanted to share that with you. We had his funeral about 2 weeks ago on Monday, and it was a beautiful ceremony. And I'm doing okay at this point. I feel like I said goodbye many times over the last 4 years already, so I'm doing okay. Just still trying to get used to the new norm. But I just want to take a few minutes just to share everything with everybody on this channel. I thank you guys for anybody that's reached out and for your support over these last year or two, even people I talked to at the National this year, and you know, text messages and messages throughout this whole time. It's very much appreciated. So let's get into the second part of this. So I have a huge stack of stuff that's come in here. I haven't had a chance to really make a video, obviously, with everything going on. So I'm going to get into that now. And you do see a few pictures of Ray in the back there. That's my stepdad. That's me. That's me graduating college, University of Wisconsin, La Crosse. This would have been probably 06 or 07. And that's just a picture from the funeral. All right, so let's get into some cards. So this is a card that came in from Garrett Card Cutter. This was a mechanical error that he had sent off like 2 years ago. Finally got around to sending it back to Garrett to send in, and this is Al Carmichael. He's in the Packer Hall of Fame. You can see his nickname is called Hoagie, Al Hoagie Carmichael. And so yeah, now it's proper holder. I think it said 1955 Bowman or 56 Tops or something. They labeled it wrong, but now it's in its correct label, 1954 Bowman. And Al Carmichael, kind of a cool story with him. He actually scored the first touchdown, I believe, in AFL history. I think it was on, if it was on a punt return or something like that. But basically, yeah, the first touchdown in AFL history was Al Carmichael. And another funny thing, after this guy's career ended, he actually was a stuntman in Hollywood in like over 50 movies. So, member of the Packers Hall of Fame. Beautiful, awesome to have an autograph on a 1954 card of him. So glad to get that back from Garrett. I did have a couple other things I sent in, so gonna probably have to wait a couple months yet to get that stuff back. But I did get that one back just because it was an error card. And then some other stuff that's come in the mail. I've been adding a few autographs and patch type stuff to my collection. I felt like the autographs were kind of a lacking part of my collection, so I got the opportunity to kind of add a few things. So this is out of 2022 Flawless. It's called Flawless Flyers. And this is the Aaron Jones, numbered 7 out of 8. This is the Ruby version right here. And just a nice clean auto and a really cool card. Absolutely love Aaron Jones. Just a hell of a football player. And one of those guys that pound for pound is probably the strongest guys, one of the strongest guys in the NFL. He always falls forward, gets hit, bounces off. He's got that mentality of, like I mentioned, with Ray in the back there. No excuses. Just always available and accountable for his team, even if he's injured. He's always in the sideline encouraging people. He's just one of those guys you want to have on your football team. And didn't have an Aaron Jones autograph, and I really actually like this 2022 Flawless product, so decided to grab that card. And see if we can get these all in here. I do have a bunch of cards to go through here. So here's another Flawless Flyers from 2022 Flawless. This is Jonathan Taylor, and it's numbered 7 out of 8 as well, the Ruby version. Cool part about this card is Jonathan Taylor was a Wisconsin Badger, and still follow his career. Was a great running back for the Badgers, and finally got his stuff worked out with Indianapolis so that he can actually play. Missed the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season, I believe, and now he's kind of back into form. So, beautiful example there. This card is from Panini Photogenic. This is the Giannis Photogenic after he won the championship. Just a beautiful card here. You can see him sitting with the Larry O'Brien trophy there and the NBA Finals MVP trophy as well. Just kind of relaxed after a job well done. I'll take a peek at the back there. It says, soaked with fingerprints of the Bucks players, coaches, and front office leaders. The Larry O'Brien trophy settled next to Antetokounmpo in 2021, sitting next to the gold award, that silver Russell NBA Finals MVP, which the Bucks also achieved after helping beat the Suns in 6. So, just a unique, cool. This is a short printed card, and just any reminder of that Bucks championship is just awesome to have. And then I decided to get a few game used type cards. So this is from Immaculate. Let me just double check the year. 2019-2020 Immaculate. This is the Brook Lopez, numbered out of 11. And I'm picking up some of these game used basketball patches just to kind of, the bigger players that were on that Bucks championship team and that are still there. Brook Lopez is a hell of a player in the league, and big fan of him. Just from a defensive standpoint, was in the top 5 for defensive player of the year the last couple of years, and also a big guy, 7-footer that can hit the 3, and just a hell of a player. And these are game used patches, so kind of adding a few game used patch auto type cards, and this is a beautiful one for the Bucks. All right, next on the list, here is a Charles Woodson. This is from Flawless Football as well. I mean, it's just a beautiful set. This is numbered out of 25. This is the Super Bowl XLV auto. And this is the play right before the half in that Super Bowl against the Steelers, where he dove and broke up a pass, but broke his collarbone in the process. So this one's just a super nice, clean auto. Beautiful card. And there's a little bit on the back. Just gorgeous card, really. Woodson's one of those guys, I'll collect anything of him. Just an awesome player. And here's another one. This is from Flawless. This is numbered out of 15. This is let me just double check the back. You can see right there, enclosed game worn material. So we've got game worn, dual patch out of 15 of Charles Woodson. Just a beautiful card. Look at that glistening there too, of the foil. Awesome card there. All right, we got 2 more, it looks like. Here's another game used patch. Look at that. This is from Immaculate of Drew Holiday, numbered out of 10. And man, I miss Drew Holiday. I wish the Bucks did not have to trade him to get Damian Lillard to start the year, but I think he was about the only player that would have made that trade happen. And it's tough because I love Drew Holiday, I love the defense he brings, but last year against the Heat in round 1, Jimmy Butler absolutely torched Drew Holiday. So Drew Holiday, as amazing a player as he is, he just didn't do it for the Bucks the last couple seasons when they needed him to do it. And so the Bucks decided to go in a different direction, and Giannis decided that. And is it the right move? I guess we'll see. I think they tried it with Drew Holiday, for at least 4 years, and it worked out one of the years, but it didn't work out the other 3, and they got bounced early in the playoffs. So Bucks right now and Damian Lillard are still trying to gel a little bit, but still love Drew Holiday. It was an awesome Buck, and I'm sure he'll do great for the Celtics, and wish him nothing but the best. He was awesome in the community. Again, this is a game used patch, so I'm not much for the player worn or event worn stuff. Got to be game used, or I'm really not interested in it in the slightest. So that's a cool card there. And last but not least, it's another Brook Lopez. This is from Flawless. This is numbered out of 15. Beautiful autograph there, and patch. Again, this is all game used. And considering what it is and what this Flawless stuff goes for, this is, I felt like pretty reasonably priced, to believe it or not. I mean, I think this, gosh, what was it, like $60 or $50 for something like this? Seems very reasonable to me. So that's all I got, guys. I do have a care package sitting here too from Mr. Bradley Claus, Brad Smith. So that one I'm going to save for the next video that I do. But right now, that's what I got in. Also have a few other things coming in, some awesome stuff as well. For some reason, yeah, as the year has ended here, it's just been like seeing amazing card after amazing card. That things that I would go after, and the prices are all perfect. Their prices are all right. So as we get towards the year, this is a great buying opportunity. So again, just keep your eyes open, and hopefully you can find something for your collection, because now is the time where things are available and the prices are not out of this world. So keep an eye out. Hope you're able to add something to your PC in the next couple months here. So thanks everybody for watching. Again, I thank you for your support, not only for the channel and the comments, but also just, like I said, over the last couple of years, you know, my family's kind of gone through a lot with this stuff. So, but again, we look forward with positivity, and we reflect on the times that we had, look back fondly on them, but we look forward with positivity, and knowing that this is all just part of life. So thanks everybody for watching. We'll talk to you again soon, and hope you guys are doing well. Talk to you later.